So we're here at Concias Giants Tomb, which is not that far from Cagliari. It's the closest Giants tomb to Cagliari, and it's very impressive. We'll show you it in a moment. It's got this beautiful curved forecourt with a betel stone, which, like some people suggest, could be a kind of phallic symbol against the kind of almost like female open legs going into the main tomb. And it's about 8 meters long inside. You have to crawl in there. It's very, very low compared to, say, Orku Giant's tomb, and it hasn't got the big sort of tablet stone. This is like the style we have in the south, the kind of very old style, where it's like polygonal walls, like Cyclopean blocks going around this curved forecourt with a giant tomb like back end to it. And it would have been originally about 25 meters, like 70 plus feet long. And there's other features here as well which we'll look at, and we're going to go inside it. We'll have a look deep inside it, have a look at the detail on some of the stones. But yeah, this is one of the many giant tombs out of possibly 800. You know, I thought officially they say there's 300, but there's actually over 800 of these tombs. We have just some of the blocks going around. We have our wonderful members of our wonderful tour group here. They're soaking up the energies of the betel stone. We'll also have a little closer look. Some of these stones are very big. You can see these are like seriously megalithic. They've got almost polygonal style, but more Cyclopean construction. And it's oriented north, which is unusual for giants' tombs. It's quite a rarity, you don't really get that. We've also got a cut mark over here. A cut mark in the stone that could have been part of the original construction. It could have been liquids, things placed in there. And you can see much of the destruction going all the way around there. It could have even been a circle. Sometimes you get, very rarely, you get a circle going around. Very interesting. Then we have a kind of little hearth here. Another one. So whether these were original is unclear. Oh, then you can see around the side here. That is impressive. So you've got the main part here, then we're going around the side of the curved forecourt. That is quite impressive. And this is just down the side of the giant's tomb. That is very strange, and from above, obviously, this looks like a bull. As Arianna's telling us, it's very well preserved. It's in kind of good condition. You can see that from behind here. So on top of it now, you're allowed to do this. And there you can see the frontage kind of going around from above. Almost looks like a circle. This could have been a circle. We know there's another site near Sardinia which has got like a circle. It's not just like a horn shape or just a curvature. It turns into, this looks like this could be one of those.
And in Sardinia we find nowadays about 800 giants' graves all over the place, all over Sardinia. Most giants' graves are actually located in the north of the island. So probably this came from a culture coming from the north. Okay, we have to think that Sardinia is an island and people moved a lot in those days, and people came from many different parts, you know, from the eastern part and from Africa, from the north, from the north, so from many different parts. And from here they also moved somewhere else, okay. So we have many giants' graves, and this is a very peculiar one because it looks north. Most giants' graves were actually built looking east, looking the rising, the sunrise, yes. And this was actually a research done by a British archaeoastronomer, Michael Hoskin, of the University of Cambridge, who came here in the 80s and did a very deep research on giants' graves. Okay, so usually giants' graves look east because it's the idea of rebirth, of a rebirth. So you look the sun rising, okay? But probably this is a very old one, because it looks north. When the cults of the ancestors were very important on the island, okay? We know from some caves, there is a special cave, and we've just seen it with Hugh the other day. There is a very special cave that depicts the vision, the spiritual vision of this civilization. And let's say it was like a star religion, a star spirituality, because to them what was important was the sky. And their idea was that there was a constellation where the souls would come from, and that constellation was the Big Dipper. That is a constellation that is very visible in the skies of Sardinia, and you can see the all year round. You know, it never goes below the horizon. Then meaning eternity. Okay, so we know that pre-Nuragic people, because that cave dates back to 3500 BC, believed that their vision was that souls would originate from that constellation and would go back to that constellation after death. They didn't believe, of course, that death was the end of everything, but they believed that we survive death and we would go towards a different dimension, being alive but in a different way, okay?
That is why the giant's grave is aligned to the exact north, because the Big Dipper constellation was it's always looking north, and that means when the pre-Nuragic era shift on the Nuragic era, they started building Nuragic monuments like these ones with the old cults. So using worshipping the cults of the pre-Nuragic era. And because the giant's grave, it's not really a grave, or it's not a place of death, it's a place where you will be reborn, then it was looking north, because the souls will be reborn in the other dimension, as Arianna was saying. So the soul has to go to that place. So if you have a very low energy, the soul will stick to this plane. That is, you will have a very many difficulties in going towards the other plane. That is why they built these kinds of monuments, which are sacred, are in energetical spots of the Mother Earth.
Soul magnifier.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly the thing. So they, the intention of these giant graves was that of amplifying the energy and connecting this monument towards life, in order to facilitate the soul to do the astral travel needed to go back to where we came. That is the Big Dipper.
This is like the altar with a further altar at the back. There's like 2 of them where offerings were made, probably to the ancient giants, the ancient goddess. It's absolutely amazing. And so even out front we have like a betel stone as well, which is a tradition we find in various parts of Sardinia. But yeah, it feels amazing to be in here. It feels really highly energetic, really beautiful energy. It makes me wonder if this was like, you know, part of a kind of ceremonial, kind of energetic spot. And it's aligned north, almost directly north as well. Okay, so we're just making our way out of the Giants Tomb. It's very low compared to some of the others, but it's unique, and you can see some of the size of some of these stones. And look, you can see above the entrance we have stones going down, and huge stones on the left and right, all the way down, suggesting this is indeed seriously megalithic. Wow, so we just made it out. There's a whole bunch of people wanting to get in, but this is an amazing site. It's well worth a visit if you're anywhere near Cagliari, which is the capital of Sardinia.